Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for joining the Redevelopment Commission on this Thursday, January 6th meeting. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a short invocation by our newest member, Dr. Jake Allen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together safely this evening. Thank you for the opportunity to serve such a wonderful community, and we pray for wisdom and guidance in doing so. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is, it being our first meeting of the year, reorganization. So we need to elect a president, vice president, and secretary. I will start with the president's position. Do I have any nominations or motions?
I personally, I would be fine with the same slate of officers if they are all willing. And I would be willing to make that motion if they would all be willing.
I'm willing.
Yeah, I'm willing.
We can blanket that? Yes?
Yeah,
You
just
want
put it in the
to-
form of a motion.
Okay, and the motion, I name each person separately.
Yes, in their office.
Okay. So I would make a motion that we elect Dustin Stanley president, Virginia Perry vice president, and Brian Fulton secretary.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? The slate of officers continues as is. Thank you so much, and thank you for that, Dana. Next, minutes from our December 2nd, both executive and public, if we could do this individually. I will entertain a motion for the executive session minutes.
I'll make a motion that the executive session minutes for December 2nd, 2021 be adopted as presented.
I have a motion on the executive session. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Now our regular session, our public meeting from December 2nd. Do I have a motion?
I watched it online, so I don't know if
I generally don't want to be the one that makes the motion since I've put them together.
Okay. I'll make a motion that the regular meeting minutes for December 2nd, 2021 be adopted as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed and abstained.
I watched it online, so I'm good with it. I just didn't want to make the motion.
Okay. So you're voting in favor?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Motion passes. Thank you. Financial report. Chelsea.
You were provided the docket yesterday from Tammy in the clerk's office. I will note, and I believe it was addressed on the docket that you have in front of you, that First Merchants Bank, the invoice for $86,006.56, it said gateway bond in your email. I made sure they knew that that is inaccurate, that is actually for the Shell building. So it's the interest payment for the Shell building. Last month I began just reading the balance of our accounts, and it is in front of Mr. Culp. If you wouldn't mind either passing that down, or if you wouldn't mind saying the balance of each of the accounts on the second page. Should be on the second page.
The second page of here? No.
Nope, let's do third page. Maybe there's not a third page.
There is not a third
No, there's not a third page. Then we're not going to do that this month. We'll do that going forward. Typically, they provide balances of our of each of the accounts. And apparently that was, I know Tammy was out today, so I think typically Tammy does that. So we will make note and make sure those are included next month.
Anything else about the financial report, Chelsea?
I will just note that the 150,000, this is really more claims, but 150,000 for the sewer payment, the contribution that the Redevelopment Commission makes twice a year for 150,000 was made. And then also our refunding the revenue bond, that payment was made of 305,000. So the docket is larger, as it typically is in January and July.
Any questions about the financial report from the commission? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion for the financial report to be approved or denied.
I'll make a motion to approve the report.
I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Chelsea. Old business, business center update, shell building, and listing agreement.
Sure. So we had, when we started the shell building process, we entered into a broker agreement. And that broker agreement is set to expire at the end, on January 24th, 2022. The amendment extends that agreement for effectively a year, basically automatic 6-month renewals, 2 6-month renewals. So we have another year under that same agreement.
Any questions about the listing agreement extension?
I will say, as the person who probably deals with the brokers the most, short of it not being sold, which obviously is what the end goal is, I've been very happy with our brokerage team, their communication. They're always very quick to communicate, even on Christmas Eve. So I think they do a really good job and represent us well.
Any questions about this? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to amend the listing agreement.
I'll make that motion to amend the listing agreement as.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Anything else on the shell building specifically?
I do have a brief report that I was provided late last night from Mike Runnebaum that I will read. Normally I put that in my written report, but I didn't get it until late. So if you will indulge, I will orally provide you with that report. So there are feature strips on the south side, and this is in the brick portion of the outside walls. They're looking a little odd when the sun hits it just right. And so Runnebaum is working to solicit concepts to cover the precast concrete liner at those feature strips, which they think is the issue. So that's something that they're going to be working on. It will not be done until spring because they will not be able to do it until it gets warm. Unfortunately, Apex Paving did not get the asphalt base down. The areas that have been stoned are in good shape for any visitors or anyone who would need access to the building. The plants are all now shut down as it is winter, and so they will be paving again once the plants reopen. Lastly, site cleanup has been completed except for the job toilet removal, which the toilet company knows they need to come and get it, and a small pile of traffic signage, which they think belongs to local road people. I'll be addressing that. I'm adding that commentary in that I will be addressing that. And that is it at this point. So I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have.
I don't have any questions, except I've been a little concerned about basically the landscaping down there. I went back to some of the prior reports that you gave us from him. Back in September, your report, he said the earthwork contractor was supposed to be on site all week, but due to the rain was postponed. Asphalt base and seating installers lined up to start. After the grading is done, everything's coming together. Then in October, he says that the only decent size item is the base asphalt at the entry with the main on-site traffic areas so that vehicles can be on paving when you show the building. That will be getting done in the next 2 weeks as weather allows. Other than this, just some minor finish items on the glass and a final cleanup. I think we're going to have to hold on seating until spring unless Mother Nature gives us a break, probably not likely. Then in November, he says the other is paving. Frankly, I'm having a hard time getting them out on site. This happens almost every year at this time when the asphalt plants are starting to close for winter, and the paving contractors are trying to take care of everyone at one time. So there's been a number of delays, and one, he almost sounded like maybe he was going to get this done. This is back in September, so I've not been happy with the delays and excuses that he's been giving for getting if I was looking for a building, I would be more inclined to look at a building that had the landscaping and the asphalting done. Presentation, when you're looking for a site and that kind of money, presentation means a lot, and you know that as well as I do, but that's my only comment.
I will take that up with him. I will say I'm not making excuses, but there does come a time in the year with weather that you don't want to be seating, and again, asphalt, everybody's trying to get it in. I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying.
Well, I went even further back. I went back and got the weather reports for September, October, and November. There were plenty of sunny days that those items could have been done. That's just a comment on my part.
Any other comments? Okay. High Street, State Road 42.
Pretty quiet there right now. I did relay to the NDOT engineer that the commission did choose to move forward with upgrading the signal pole at High and Monroe. So other than that, that's the only update for High right now.
Okay. Future project list and public input update. Last meeting, we tabled this for more commissioners to show. We are still one short, but want to give the opportunity for Commissioner Heidenreich to kind of comment if he would.
Yeah, looking through all the results and things, I still think the top things are if we could do something with the old industrial area or even the Indianapolis Road, Bridge Street area. The Main Street upgrade and possibly another shell building, although I would feel a lot better about that if we already had a deal on the one that's sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I know I looked through the list. Of course, I think the Trails Connecting Parks had a lot of positive response. I look at mixed use, townhomes and housing, and I know housing is important, but what I hear from people in town, and see on the results we got is most people are looking, when they say they want more housing, they're talking single detached homes, which I don't think is really the forte of a redevelopment commission. I understand there are things we can do to help that, but I don't know that there are things we can do. Even though I personally think some of the towns that are putting in the multi-use buildings where there's commercial on the bottom floor and multiple floors of housing, I think those look really nice and could really add. I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about that just because the response I get that I've seen from the public. But I guess those are my thoughts.
Okay. Brian?
I still feel like our at least my top three priorities as I look at this is really getting the Main streetscape to match Indiana's. I really want to see us start talking about the next shell building. I know we haven't sold this one quite yet. But at the same time, the market is there, and I think we want to get going on it. And updating the street lighting, that's one of the bigger issues that we discuss. So those are really my top three. And a lot of these other items are things that I almost want to wait and see where the conversation goes at the town council when we talk to when we look at and as they look at bringing in a company to do some planning.
Fair enough. Duly noted and read between the lines. Virginia.
Oh, I think I gave my report at our last meeting.
Okay.
And I don't have any further update other than I handed out an Excel sheet showing that some of the eyesores, I think, was the main thing. When you break it down, that was number one. That's what the public wants, and that's why we did the survey is to find out what the people in town want, and that was their first pick, was the eyesores in town that need to be taken care of. So that's still my thought on it.
We are minus one commissioner at this point. I will say that I agree with Commissioner Culp on a lot of this. I feel like the low-lying fruit would be the one that's already planned and kind of done, and that's Main Street. I think another shell building, we probably should have built two in the original, just to give options. We need smalls, but also, and this is a newer thing, is connectivity. And, eventually Mooresville needs to look at broadband capabilities throughout. In fact, I would dare say everybody needs to look at broadband. We have providers here that have been great partners, and I'm sure outside sources would want to jump in as well. But in Mooresville, we try to take care of our own most of the time. So, but those are my brief comments. My question to the commission at this point is, how do you want to move forward? Do you want to come up with the top three and have Chelsea go to start getting bids? Or do we, this is a massive list. Do we wait for Commissioner Taylor? Or do we just choose one and go for it?
I'd like to hear what Commissioner Taylor has to say, where he stands, and what his thoughts are, and what the priority would be in his opinion, because his opinion, he's a vote.
He is.
And I think we need to hear his opinion. That's just my stance on it.
I see no reason not to be patient and wait a month.
Yeah.
Heidenreich?
Yeah, I agree. We'd like to get something going, but I don't think we're in a time crunch.
Fair enough. And Dr. Allen, give us your thoughts.
No comments at this time. I'm just taking it all in. So thank you for the opportunity.
Fair enough. All right. I need a motion to table the project list until our next meeting.
I'll make a motion to table this.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes to table. New business. It is that time of year. Man's consulting contract. I am going to kick this off to legal.
Mains Consulting provided me a draft of their proposed agreement prior to the meeting. It is near identical to, on that. Then I also got some comments from Commissioner Perry. I proposed some of the changes to Mans. She accepted all those, so this is still her proposal, but it has been, reviewed by me, and it is substantially the same all the way through, except the body of the agreement, right, the dates have been changed. Schedule A, a few things, tweaks and updates were added. And then Schedule B, the terms and conditions. Chelsea, I'll let you
Yep.
present that.
So for the schedule fee, on Schedule B, I did bump the hourly pay, so it had been the last 2 years, $80 an hour, and that's now 85. And for the additional hours over 11, so still 11 hours a week, was 90, and I bumped that to 95. I don't ask for a bump every year. We actually, you may remember, discussed that last year. I did not ask for one last year. So it does go up slightly to $48,620.04 is the annual contract amount. That's a monthly amount of $4,051.67. Happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Commissioners, do we have any questions for legal or Mans Consulting on this agreement?
So this contains those red line changes, okay.
Yes.
Commissioner Heinrich?
I really don't have any comments. I just noticed one thing for Adam typing this up that it's so minor, I don't know if it's worth it, but in the first, under witnesses, the first whereas, it says services and deliverables as set for in the scope of work. It seems like everywhere else that is for. So I know that's really minor, but.
Or can you tell me where your first page?
Yeah, first page, the first whereas, and it says services and deliverables as set for in the, everywhere else it
Yeah.
says as set for.
Yeah, that should be, we can change that.
I mean, it's not important, I just.
Yeah, but it's set forth as correct. So we can, that can be changed.
But I didn't have any other comments on the rest of it.
Secretary Cole?
No further comments.
Vice President Perry?
I have some comments. Council, I did send some suggestions to the language to council, and he made those and assured me that my concerns were addressed in the new revised contract. And I also noticed then in the last one, the final that we received with the changes, the salary increase. And I just want to know that last year we lost a major project. And as a result of that, a large portion of the duties and responsibilities of the project manager were decreased both last year and this year. And so far, we have not picked up a new project. So I really don't see the reason and can't justify an increase in the salary for that position at this time until we get new projects and add it to it for this year. And if and when we do that, then I'd be inclined to take another look at the contract and make any adjustments that might be required, but not at this time, not especially since we take away duties and responsibilities and give a salary increase. I find that kind of hard to swallow.
Okay, anything else?
Nope, that's all I have.
Okay. I need a motion to either accept or deny this agreement between the RDC and Mans Consulting.
I would make a motion to accept it as presented.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries. Next, legal update.
No specific legal update this month. There's, the legislature's back in session, so we'll be monitoring and paying attention to the bills that are presented and, track those as they would impact the commission.
Managerial update?
Just a couple of things. In addition to my written report, the coordination of bond and BOT payments, it's always kind of tricky when our meetings fall at the beginning of the month because typically those really large payments for bonds and the build, operate, transfer, which is the first merchants for the Shell building, don't always come in before the docket's set. So we do some kind of behind the scenes coordination to make sure that we have those electronically. I think they were in the mailbox today for snail mail, so a little extra coordination there. There has been a lot of movement on the Shell building. Nothing to discuss right now, but we're definitely seeing an uptick in interest, so hopefully we have more to discuss publicly on that soon. That's all that I have right now.
Perfect. Any questions for either one? Okay. Review of claims. Lucky you.
I would make a motion that we accept the claims in the amount of $555,633.34.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. For the good of the order, Dr. Allen.
Nothing, thank you for welcoming me to my first meeting. Appreciate it.
Again, I don't know if welcome or condolences is in order, so. Commissioner Heinrich.
I'm just looking forward to this year. It looks like, we have a lot of good things possibly going on with some new projects and hopefully wrapping up the Shell building. I'm just excited about what might happen.
Secretary Cole.
No comment.
Vice President Perry.
I have nothing further.
Real quick, only because Peter's sitting in front of me and he gets to hear me talk. The town is considering appointments. They didn't consider them the last time because we had some people turn in some applications very late. And also the news about the buffer zones kind of threw some wrenches into some things, and a lot of wrenches, maybe even a truck. And so I will put it out that if anybody's interested, by all means, contact President Worthen, or just fill out the application for any board that you want to serve on, or anybody else that's viewing virtually. By all means, we are open and always looking. So I think maybe next meeting, don't hold me to that though. So it's supposed to be done. I would urge the town council, I'm going to say I'm on the commission right now, urge the town council to consider December appointments, but that is a fight for another day. So we don't have to go through this awkward where we're all sitting here wondering if we're going to be reappointed. So, again, thank you all for serving. Again, Heinrich, it will be a good year. We don't have a choice. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if you haven't paid attention, Mooresville was kind of carved out in the last congressional district.
Yeah, the one.
And we are a part of basically Johnson and Hendricks. And we're carved out. We got some heavy lifting to do to keep up pace. So we don't have a choice but to have a good year. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Who wants to stay longer? Motion passes. Our next meeting is February 3rd, right here, 6 p.m. Thank you so much. We are adjourned.
So, you sign this one?
Sign that one.
Okay.
minutes and claims are coming, so.
YouTube is still streaming, but I can't.
Okay, YouTube's still streaming, so careful what you say about the town council.
Okay.
We should be good.
So we have the claims.
Hold flag.
One of our shorter meetings.
Hey.
None of them, I would say, I only remember one that went over an hour. That was,
Lucky you.
yeah.
What went over an hour?